The album was recorded at Zella Studios, which was actually owned by the Magnum guys, the band Magnum, in Birmingham, 1995. And I remember it because we actually hired a house where the band stayed and then drove to the studio. We had a few parties there. I remember Kronos coming to do his parts for Haunted Shores, and staying the night in this like little 2 Up 2 Down and talking about all the great sort of days of Venom. And he was wearing the original red leather boots that he wore on the 7 Dates of Hell. It's quite funny. We got horrendously drunk. So yeah, it was recorded at Zella Studios. It was actually half studio, half sort of rendezvous for the Boy Scouts. So every Wednesday afternoon, I think it was Monday afternoon, they had ballet lessons, so we had to stop making any music, which was quite ironic really. The fact that this huge, epic black metal record was brought to ground by little girls in ballet shoes and their mums, and yeah, quite ironic really. Aside from the band, there was Sarah Jezebel Diva on female vocals and Danielle Cottington, who did the female narration. And aside from that, Kronos did the rabid captor of bestial malevolence, did the rallying war speech at the end of Haunted Shores of Avalon. And something else that didn't feature on the MFN version of Dusk And Her Embrace was Steve Grimmett, formerly of Grim Reaper, singing on there's a bits throughout Haunted Shores of Babylon as well. So those were the guest spots. You know, I was convinced that Queen of Winter Throned was on this album. You know what, I'm sure it was. I'm sure we recorded an older version. But I remember sitting, when we were in Hadley, I remember one summer listening to it, and I was sitting up reading some books on Market Song. And I remember listening to it, and it was an older version, it didn't have the middle section. It was definitely recorded, and I was really disappointed not to hear it. And it's not that I don't believe, you know, misjudged it. If somebody else remembers it, that's what happened. It was definitely recorded. Because it was written by them, so why wouldn't it be recorded? A lot of people ask why this album, why it was never released, why did it sort of flounder in the Neverworld for so many years. And the truth is that the band fractured. We had 2 managers, 3 members of the band followed 1 manager and went to form a band called the Blood Divine, while the other 3 members of the band, myself included, stayed on and recorded the Vampire EP, Cacophonous, eventually won the rights to re-record Dusk And Her Embrace with new members, which then went on to Music for Nations. So this album just was sitting on the shelf, gathering cobwebs for years on end. And it only feels right now, with everybody's permission, that it should see the light of day. And it serves, especially following the re-release of the Total Fucking Darkness demos last year, that it should follow on suite. Because it's just a perfect example of the stepping stone of Cradle's history. And to be fair, it's pretty fucking good as well.